Good morning and welcome to T-Hub Capital, the Investors Lounge, the podcast where we explore financial market dynamics, emerging trends, and the insights that shape successful investments. Each week, we'll delve into the strategies and analyses that drive our investment decisions. You'll get an insider's perspective on the factors influencing markets and the potential winners and losers of tomorrow. Subscribe to the podcast to stay ahead of the curve and make informed investment choices. Enjoy listening.
Welcome to T-Hub Capital's The Investors Lounge weekly newsletter. Today's date is the 8th of July. Let's dive into the week's stock market news. European stocks rally amid easing political concerns and mixed economic data. European markets experienced a positive week, with the Pan-European Stocks Europe 600 index closing 1.01% higher. This upward trend was fueled by the easing of political jitters in France, where the far-right failed to secure an outright majority in the first round of legislative elections. Additionally, the Labour Party's decisive victory in the UK general election boosted investor confidence. Major European stock indexes also reflected this positive sentiment, with France's CAC 40 index surging 2.62%, Germany's DAX gaining 1.32%, and Italy's FTSE MIB jumping 2.51%. The UK's FTSE 100 index also saw a modest increase of 0.49%. While political uncertainties subsided, the economic landscape presented a mixed picture. German manufacturing experienced an unexpected weakening in May, with both orders and industrial production contracting. Similarly, industrial output in France declined. Meanwhile, the European Central Bank (ECB) President Christine Lagarde adopted a slightly more hawkish tone during the bank's annual retreat, emphasizing the need for caution in the face of lingering uncertainties regarding future inflation. Minutes from the ECB's June meeting revealed a division among members regarding the recent rate cut, with some expressing concerns about wage growth and persistent inflation. A final estimate of Eurozone inflation confirmed a slight decrease in June, but a stubbornly high services component raised concerns about the persistence of inflationary pressures. Overall, the week was marked by a combination of positive political developments and mixed economic signals. Investors remain cautiously optimistic, but the path to economic recovery remains uncertain. Now our insight into alternative markets. Private equity and venture capital fuel European job growth. Private equity and venture capital-backed companies significantly outperformed the overall European job creation rate in 2022, marking the fifth consecutive year of such success. These companies added 451,511 new jobs, a 7.2% increase, compared to the 2% growth seen across all European businesses. By the end of 2022, private equity and venture capital-backed companies employed 10.9 million people, representing 5% of the European workforce. Buyout firms alone supported 5.5 million workers, while the venture capital sector surpassed 1 million supported jobs for the first time. The growth wasn't uniform across Europe. The Nordics led the way with a 9.5% increase in employment, while companies in Central and Eastern Europe outpaced their regional average, adding 6.6% more jobs. Even amidst ongoing conflict, Ukraine contributed to job creation, demonstrating the resilience of businesses backed by private equity and venture capital investments. The information and communications technology sector was a standout performer, experiencing the fastest growth in 2022, adding 13.8% more jobs. Biotech and healthcare, energy and environment, and financial and insurance activities also saw significant employment growth, highlighting the strength of European private equity in key industries. The report by Invest Europe, titled Private Equity at Work, underscores the positive impact of private equity and venture capital investments on job creation. This trend has been consistent even during challenging times, including the pandemic, the conflict in Ukraine, and rising inflation and interest rates. Over the past 5 years, venture capital-backed companies have doubled employment, achieving an average annual job creation rate of 18.8%. Buyout portfolio companies have also seen consistent growth, employing an average of 3.5% more people each year. The ICT sector has been a major driver of job creation, adding the most jobs in absolute terms and averaging 12.5% annual growth over the 5-year period. This sustained job growth is closely linked to the increased financial support provided by European private equity and venture capital firms, with €553 billion invested in 30,132 companies over the past 5 years. This data clearly demonstrates the significant contribution of private equity and venture capital investments to the European economy and job market.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Hub Capital, the Investors Lounge podcast. I hope you found this content interesting and inspiring. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss a single episode, and share it with your friends and colleagues who might be interested. To learn more about T-Hub Capital and our activities, visit our website, thubcapital.com. You can also follow us on our LinkedIn page. See you soon. All the best from the T-Hub Capital team.